Hey guys, so today I'm going to make a video discussing my thoughts about anabolic steroids and people who choose to use anabolic steroids. The reason I'm making this video is because, at one point in my training career, I'd considered it, did quite a bit of research on it, and I know several people who've made the decision to use steroids to enhance their training, athletics, or whatever, reasons they were choosing to use them. Basically, I am pro-informed choice. So I'm not going to say that I'm strongly against, and I'm not strongly for the use of steroids. So let me give you some examples of people who I really do think testosterone specifically may have some benefit for. There's studies that show people, specifically who may have some disorders, or older men, say above the age of 45 or so, have very low testosterone, can experience things like depression, poor body composition, accumulation of fat, difficulty training, and things like that. And I've actually read some studies that say testosterone can be more effective for some of those people experiencing depression than, antidepressants and things like that. And if you ask me, something that your body has already been producing at a younger age, testosterone specifically, is much more natural and healthy than some of the stronger antidepressants, which come with a host of side effects that I don't think are very healthy. Now, does that mean that I'm taking steroids? Not necessarily. I think that there are a lot of people that really shouldn't even consider it. Namely, people who are, looking to enter competitions and get an advantage, in something that's supposedly tested. I've met bodybuilders myself who would go into shows that are supposedly natural and talk about how they were able to cheat a lie detector test by doing certain things, or they would let these drugs clear their system and then get on stage with the athletes who actually were honest and win a show. You ask me, that's a jerk. I think that's about the dumbest thing you could do. There's places you could compete and use drugs. So if that's your choice, go do that. So I'm very against the use of steroids in events like that. I'm also very against the use of steroids for people who are not well informed. And by well informed, I don't just mean you've talked to a couple bros in the gym and they've given you some input on how to use steroids. No, that's not well informed. I consider well informed to be you've read many books, you've read some research. In addition, you've spoken to knowledgeable doctors who can kind of advise you on whether it's something you should be considering. Because honestly, I feel that the majority of people should not be considering it. Now, let me talk about, what made me consider the use of steroids and ultimately the decision not to use them. Early on, I've been training for over 20 years at this point. I was probably in my late teens, about 19 or so. I had some friends that I'd known who used steroids, got pretty big, muscles and everything using them. And so it piqued my interest, and I thought to myself, this is pretty crazy. You take these drugs or whatever, and all of a sudden, you're putting on more mass than you ever would without. But luckily, I had some people who were very knowledgeable and talked to me about the side effects that I do honestly feel a lot of people put them out of proportion for what's true. Go check out a movie, Bigger, Stronger, Faster. It kind of, highlights how the media wants you to think a certain way about a person who uses steroids. I personally know steroid users. They're pretty good people. I know several who are excellent professionals, wonderful family people, would do anything to help you out. I don't see them as, the cocky, angry, you know, people that, the media would have you believe. But anyway, my personal reason for deciding not to use something like that is longevity. I love what I do in the gym. I love training. I love being around people who train and talking about all things health, diet, nutrition, lifting, everything else. I do enjoy building muscle, but in all honesty, that's a byproduct for me. Even if I wasn't building large muscles, I would still be in the gym. I love it. And I want to be able to do that as long as possible. Now, I came across studies, that they had used steroids in animals. So I think the particular thing I'm thinking of was like cockfighting. I know that's silly and it's not a human, but think about this. The animals, I think roosters that were taking these, being given these drugs, same ones that are given to some humans, were stronger. They were more aggressive, typically. They were winning, these fights and everything else. But what had happened was they were dying much sooner from health complications, heart problems, things like that. And that clicked with me. I thought about that. I'm like, am I the type of person who is honestly looking to make a living off of having large muscles? No, I'm really not. Am I the type of person willing to possibly shorten my lifespan to do something like? Absolutely not. I have a family, I have a wife I love, and I want to be around as long as I can. I want to be in the gym when I'm in my 70s, maybe even 80s. And if I'm being honest with you, the people who I'm aware of that do take steroids generally tend to age faster. Think about it. I'm not going to point out any names, but I know some power lifters who, their face just, you can see the progress over the years, just ages rapidly. Balding happens quite frequently. The skin just looks a little more aged, I guess, I've noticed. And so for me personally, that's not something I'm interested in partaking in. For me, it's about longevity. Another reason I choose not to use testosterone is because I don't believe in putting something into my body that it doesn't either already make or, would shut my body down, so to speak. Because you may not know this, but it's a big risk. If you do choose to take something like testosterone or some of the other steroids that are out there, you may need them the rest of your life. Are you really willing to inject a needle into your butt or whatever part of your body on a weekly basis forever, literally forever? That's an easy answer for me. No, I'm not. But I do believe testosterone has an importance. And so the way I address testosterone, especially being a 36-year-old male, is I take vitamin D. I try to lose body fat because it's been shown that having lower levels of body fat can increase testosterone. I avoid things that have parabens, like shampoos and bathroom products. I'm very aware of the nutrition I eat and, the chemicals that go into my body. So I do try to maximize my testosterone, but I do it in a way that doesn't make me reliant on a drug. It doesn't go with, what my beliefs are. But again, I don't judge people who do choose to use. I'm going to give you a couple examples of that. You always have to consider the source where the information is coming from. There's people all over, especially in magazines, YouTube, athletes, actors, who take these drugs, tell you they don't, and they have something to sell you, maybe a supplement, training routine, look sell. Sometimes people are running around, you won't see me doing it, but half naked trying to show their muscles off to try and sell you on something. But that's not really what I'm about. But what you have to keep in mind is because a person uses steroids doesn't mean you should not listen to them as far as if they have genuine intentions and they're looking to give advice and help other people interested in making progress. A perfect example of that on YouTube is a guy by the name of James Tiny Vest. Guy's amazing. If you haven't checked out his channel, go check it out. I'll put it down in the description. I highly recommend it. Think about it. James, I can't say his age for certain, but I'm going to assume he's got about 25, 30 or more years training. Solid, intense, intelligent training in a gym. He regularly trains with other people. When he makes his videos, he, as far as I can tell, has nothing he's trying to sell you. He's just sharing his journey, and that's kind of what I'm trying to do with you on my channel, is share with you my journey. Keep in mind, this is something hopefully my son takes an interest in and he can look at and be proud of. And so, that's my opinion about that. Don't write off people who do take steroids. I'm not saying all of them are knowledgeable, just like people who don't take steroids. There's people who you may benefit from listening to, and people who you may not. Also consider what you're watching. Sometimes you're just watching things for entertainment. Sometimes you're watching it for education. I hate to break it to you, I'm not here to entertain you. But if you want to, listen to what I have to say, and you think you might be able to add some of it to your, fitness lifestyle, that's kind of more what I'm about. Consider somebody like Omar Ismaf. I'm not sure how to say that last name, but okay, so he has some knowledge, but he also has things to sell you. He's very popular. Look at what he does though. He puts on costumes, chases after girls, makes jokes, things like that, and that's fine. It's entertaining. I enjoy watching his videos too. But as far as I know, he sells supplements. He just, I think, recently started selling training programs. Now, consider this. James Tiny Vest, who is open with his steroid use, he trains people. I see him working with them in his videos. Has a background in it. Has 35 years intense training. Very knowledgeable. But then compare that to Omar. He, as far as I know, claims to not take steroids. I believe that. But I don't know that he has a personal training background. I really don't think he does. And, so me personally, I know who I'm going to listen to and take my advice from. Not to discredit Omar, I do think he's an intelligent person, but I don't think that he has the strongest background with personal training. Not to say he's not effective, I don't know. But I personally, that's my opinion. Do what you want with it. All right, guys, I didn't want to take up too much time with this. I plan on posting some more training videos soon. I was out of the gym for a little bit. I had a pretty bad sinus infection. So I wanted to hit some PRs, but I got to wait for that. But to let you know, I got some cool stuff coming up. I'm planning on interviewing a very successful female powerlifter who's a coworker of mine. So I just got to talk her into it. But stay tuned, guys. All right, if you like the content, you have any questions, go stick them in the comments below. If you want more videos, I try to post up once a week, sometimes more, sometimes less. You can subscribe right up there. All right, peace.